George Francis Hotz, alias geohot, is an American hacker known for unlocking the iPhone, allowing the phone to be used with other wireless carriers, contrary to AT&T's and Apple's intentions. He developed the Limera 1N jailbreak tool and bootrom exploit for iOS. He is also noted for his technical efforts and publicity with reverse engineering the PlayStation 3 video game console, and for subsequently being sued by unsettling with Sony. Personal life: he attended the Bergen County Academies, a magnet public high school in Hackensack, New Jersey. He attended Academy for Engineering and Design Technology. Hotz is an alumnus of the Johns Hopkins Center for Talented Youth program. Hotz also attended Carnegie Mellon University. iOS device security: in August 2007, 17-year-old George Hotz became the first person reported to carry or unlock an iPhone. According to Hotz's blog, he traded his second unlocked 8GB iPhone to Terry Dadun, the founder of Certichal, for a Nissan 350Z and three 8GB iPhones. In September 2007, an anonymous group achieved a software-only unlocking method to complement Hotz's hardware-based unlocking method. On July 13, 2010, Hotz announced the discontinuation of his jailbreaking activities, citing demotivation over the technology and the unwanted personal attention. Nevertheless, he continued to release new software-based jailbreak techniques until October 2010. PlayStation 3 security: in December 2009, Hotz announced his initial intentions to breach security on the Sony PlayStation 3. 5 weeks later, on January 22, 2010, he announced that he had performed his first theoretical achievement. This consists of the initial read and write access to the machine's system memory as well as hypervisor-level access to the machine's CPU. On January 26, 2010, Hotz released the exploit to the public. On March 28, 2010, Sony responded by announcing their intention to release a PlayStation 3 firmware update that would retroactively remove the Other OS feature from all models, a feature that was already absent on the newer slim revisions of the machine. On July 13, 2010, never having achieved any method of reading, installing, or modifying software on the PS3, Hotz posted a message on his Twitter account stating that he had abandoned his efforts of trying to crack the PS3 any further due to the system security's extreme difficulty. On December 29, 2010, notable hacking group Failoverflow, known for the reverse engineering of security models found in consumer electronics devices, performed an academic presentation at the 27th Chaos Communications Congress Technical Conference, of their accomplishments with the PlayStation 3. They presented the methods they'd devised for having successfully penetrated the device's security model, yielding the root signing and encryption keys. These keys are the essential element of a full breach, capable of installing and running any new software on any PlayStation 3 unit. On January 2, 2011, Hotz posted a copy of the root keys of the PlayStation 3 on his website. These keys were later removed from his website as a result of legal action by Sony against Failoverflow and himself. In response to Hotz's continued publication of PS3 exploit information, Sony filed on January 11, 2011 for an application for a temporary restraining order against him in the U.S. District Court of Northern California. On January 14, 2011, Hotz appeared in an interview on G4's The Loop, where he explained his involvement with the PlayStation 3. Sony lawsuit equals. After the root keys of the console were published, Sony initiated litigation against George Hotz and predecessor PlayStation 3 hacking group known as Failoverflow. Hotz published his commentary on the case, including a song about the disaster of Sony. Sony in turn has demanded social media sites, including YouTube, to hand over IP addresses of people who visited geohot social pages and videos. The latter being the case only for those who watched the video and documents reproducing all records or usernames and IP addresses that have posted or published comments in response to the video. PayPal has granted Sony access to geohot's PayPal account, and the judge of the case granted Sony permission to view the IP addresses of everyone who visited geohot.com. In April 2011, it was revealed that Sony and Hotz had settled the lawsuit out of court, on the condition that Hotz would never again resume any hacking work on Sony products. At the end of April 2011, an anonymous hacker broke into the PlayStation network and stole personal information of some 77 million users. Hotz denied any responsibility for the attack, and said running homebrew and exploring security on your devices is cool. Hacking into someone else's server and stealing databases of user info is not cool. Rooting the AT&T and Verizon Galaxy S5, in June 2014, Hotz published a root exploit software hack for Samsung Galaxy S5 devices used in the US market. The exploit is itself built around Linux kernel CVE 2014-3153, which was discovered by hacker Pinkie Pie, and it involves an issue in the Futex subsystem that in turn allows for privilege escalation. The exploit, known as TowerRoot, was designated a one-click Android rooting tool by the hacking community because it was designed to be installed quickly like an app. Other rooting hacks were typically uploaded from a nearby PC with a cable and necessitated rebooting the device with a special set of key presses. Although originally released for the Verizon Galaxy S5, the root exploit was made compatible with most Android devices available at that time. For example, it was tested and found to work with the AT&T Galaxy S5, Nexus 5, and Galaxy S4 Active. Updates continued to be applied to the root exploit to increase its capabilities with other devices running Android. Updates to the Android operating system closed the source of the exploit. Samsung officially responded to the TowerRoot exploit by releasing updated software designed to be immune from the exploit. Career. In addition to having made a meaningful side income from public donations solicited for his exploits, Hotz has been employed at Facebook and Google. On June 27, 2011, ZDNet freelance reporter, Emil Podolinsky reported that according to a Facebook spokesman, Hotz had been hired by the company in an unknown role. However, according to a CNET article, he had actually been employed since May, which was confirmed by Facebook. In January 2012, Hotz was no longer employed by Facebook. On July 16, 2014, Google hired Hotz to work in their software security auditing team called Project Zero, which hopes to find zero-day vulnerabilities before the NSA. Hotz worked in Project Zero for 5 months where he developed Kira, an open-source program for dynamically analyzing application binaries. In January 2015, Vicarious hired Hotz to develop AI algorithms where he worked for 7 months. Other activities and recognition. Hotz was a finalist at the 2004 ISEF competition in Portland, Oregon with his project The Mapping Robot. Recognition included interviews on The Today Show and Larry King. Hotz was a finalist at the 2005 ISEF competition, with his project The Googler. Continuing with robots, Hotz competed in his school's highly successful Titanium Knights BattleBots team. Hotz competed in the 2007 Intel International Science and Engineering Fair, a science competition for high school students, where his 3D imaging project, entitled I Want a Holodeck, received awards and prizes in several categories including a $20,000 Intel scholarship. He traveled to Sweden to speak about the project at the Stockholm International Youth Science Seminar. Hotz has received considerable attention in mainstream media, including interviews on The Today Show, Fox, CNN, NBC, CBS, G4, ABC, CNBC, and articles in several magazines, newspapers, and websites, including Forbes, and BBC. In March 2008, PC World magazine listed Hotz as one of the top 10 overachievers under 21. In August 2013, Hotz attended DEFCON with Carnegie Mellon's played Parliament of PWNING. PPP placed first in the DEFCON Capture the Flag tournament. Later in 2013, Hotz also competed in CSAW 2013. Working alone, Hotz took first place under the pseudonym TOMCROOSA. In August 2014, Hotz once again competed alongside Carnegie Mellon's played Parliament of PWNING at DEFCON. PPP won the DEFCON CTF tournament for a second year in a row and also placed first in the DEFCON Crack Me If You Can tournament. See also, BlackRa1N, an iPhone jailbreak application produced by geohot. References. External links. Settlement in George Hotz's case. Will geohot return to PS3 scene after he quit Facebook? geohot released PS3 exploiter by thetechjournal.com, YouTube video of Hotz's unlocked iPhone, YouTube video demo of PlayStation 3 CWF 3.2100, Hotz's website, NJ10 unlocks iPhone plus YouTube video, geohot's guide to iPhone unlocking.